This is our second video. This is about visual balance. Now we're using this in our stylistic or semi-abstract unit, but visual balance applies to all types of art. So everything you add to your artwork has visual weight. Some things weigh more than others, and it's your work, your job to try to balance all of those objects on your page. So for example, a larger square weighs more visually than a smaller square. A deeper color such as red is going to weigh more than a brighter color like yellow. Visual balance happens when the visual weight of objects and elements is equal in the composition. There are three types of visual balance. There's symmetry or asymmetrical balance, asymmetry or asymmetrical balance, and radial balance. We're going to look at each one of these briefly. Symmetry is the same on both sides. So symmetry could be the human face, it could be a butterfly. You draw a line down the center of your composition and what is on either side is the same or extremely close to being the same. Asymmetry, which is probably new to you, is balanced, but it's not symmetrical. The way that an artist normally creates asymmetry is to have one large dominant object on one side that is then counterbalanced by multiple lighter objects on the other side. So as you can see, it takes two blue rectangles to balance out one larger red square. Asymmetry is the most common balance used by artists. Finally, there is radial balance. Radial, you can think of the word radiate or heat, comes from the sun. So radial balance has objects that radiate in a circular shape around a center point. It is considered symmetrical, and it is normally symmetrical from top to bottom as well as side to side. This tree artwork is an example of symmetry. If you were to draw a line down the center of the tree, it is basically exactly the same on both sides. At least for visual weight, it is. Here you have asymmetry. So you can see that the tree is heavier on the right-hand side because that's where the trunk is. The branches help to give us weight over on the left, and the two little birds really help to create that counterbalance. Without them, this artwork would be very, very heavy on the right side where the trunk is and not be balanced. Here's another example of symmetry. Notice how this artist split the tree right in half. Often when we think of mood and balance, we think that symmetry is comfortable, and it normally is, but this symmetry is definitely not comfortable and not a positive mood. This is an interesting piece where the tree itself is symmetrical. However, because of the way the birds and the flowers down at the bottom have been added, it is asymmetrical. So the tree is symmetry, but then you have this one large dominant object here, counterbalanced by this and this. And finally, we have multiple trees used to make a radial balance. You now should take your worksheet, your visual balance worksheet, and you should do examples. We'll point out what that worksheet looks like. This is your worksheet, and below each of the examples on the worksheet you will do a quick sketch, quick 5-minute sketch. This is a 10-15 minute practice. A symmetrical tree, an asymmetrical, and a radial. And remember, these are abstracted. They do not or should not look real.